I saw a TikTok recently about how the when the Earth rotates, it rotates at different speeds depending on like where the mass is distributed around it. So like we used to have lots of ice caps. Now they're melting, and so we had a lot of mass at the poles previously, and now it's more evenly distributed because the water, basically, balances itself out around the world. So more of the mass is at the equator than it was previously. So that affects the speed of the rotation of the Earth. There's like animals migrating seasonally, and there's enough animals that apparently, like if you measure precisely enough, when they migrate north or south, that changes the rotational speed of the Earth.
Like if all five species are migrating at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea is like previously, we defined like when the Earth rotates such that the sun is back at the same point in the sky, we say that's 24 hours. That's one day, and we divide that into 24 to say that, and that defines how long an hour is. Then we divide an hour by 60, and that defines how long a minute is. And we divide a minute by 60, and then that defines how long a second is. And if you were using that system and the Earth were speeding up or slowing down, you would never know, right? Because you define seconds in terms of the rotation of the Earth. So when you try to measure how long it took the Earth to rotate, you would always get exactly the same answer because you've defined the unit in terms of that tool that you're using to measure with. Later on, we started using other ways of measuring time, such as like vibration of certain atoms when they're energetically excited. And when you use that system, you can see that that there's a change in the speed at which the Earth rotates, right? Like if you use a different standard of measure or a different way of defining how long a second is. And I think this is all like fairly well-known stuff, but what the reason I'm bringing it up is I was thinking again about our conversations between you and me, Steph, about different models of the world which give the same answers, but are feel philosophically different, right? And so one of them, like you could have a model of the world where you say, okay, so the atoms are vibrating at a fixed speed, and we use that to define the second, and that's how we know that the Earth is sometimes speeding up and sometimes slowing down. But it seems like you could just as well say, actually, the Earth is rotating at a fixed speed, and when animals migrate and when the ice caps melt, somehow that causes the atoms to vibrate at different speeds. And I feel like you could construct that theory to be completely consistent and give the exact same results as every experiment that we observe. But it just feels psychologically or philosophically less satisfying, right? And that's why we like the atom explanation more.
I wonder if they have tested it or if we've just gone with the one that sounds better.
Well, I don't know, like, I have trouble coming up with, like, what experiment could you do to
I do
differentiate
too,
between
but
the two?
I've been thinking about it for a minute and a half, so
Yeah.
I thought maybe somebody's been thinking about it for longer than me.
Right. But like even if you falsify this one example, right, where you say, yeah, there is an experiment we can do, I feel like that gives you the flavor of that idea of like there's no way, like you have different models that give you the same predictions about reality, and the only reason to prefer one model over the other is this gut feeling that it doesn't make sense that why animals migrating would affect the speed at which atoms vibrate, but it does seem to make sense why animals migrating might affect the rotation of the Earth.
Right.
And so it feels more satisfying to say, rather than saying there's some process that we don't understand where animals migrating changed the vibration, we say actually the Earth does change speed, and via a process we seem to understand. We have a model explaining that, and it's actually atoms that are fixed in their vibration speed.
Yeah. I assume they've been able to test that. Surely.
I don't know that they have. I feel like it might just be like an Occam's razor thing, right? Like there's less. It feels less magical in a sense. There's less. But how would that even work? Type of thing going on with the atom explanation than there is with the Earth spinning explanation.